The UEFA Euro 2024 is officially over, and I'm going to rank all 51 matches of the tournament. And you may disagree with me and stuff, but that's okay. Also, this video is probably going to be better listened to than watched because for copyright reasons, I can't show any of the actual games, so I guess I'm just going to have to slap up a picture. So hopefully you stick around at least. 51. England nil, Slovenia nil. Is anyone really surprised that an England match is last on the list? I don't really think anyone is. And of course, it's got to be the final match of the group where neither team were really pressing. The only really somewhat decent part about this game was when England had a goal ruled offside. But other than that, England and Slovenia both really weren't going for it, and I really wish I had chosen to watch Denmark versus Serbia over this match. Number 50, England 1, Serbia nil. Yeah, it really doesn't go without saying that Group C had to be one of the most boring groups of the entire game. And England was really horrible. They did score though, and they ended up getting the 3 points. However, that easily could have been saved, and the second half was so boring to watch. Really, honestly, I'm glad that my TV broke and I wasn't able to watch the game. 49, Denmark nil, Serbia nil. Yeah, the Denmark versus Serbia game may have been slightly better than England versus Slovenia, but this group was just in shambles, and this match probably wouldn't even be that much more entertaining. Number 48, Spain 4, Georgia 1. The epiphany of the amount of goals you score doesn't mean that it's going to be a good match. And I kept hearing these commentators who were saying this match was footballing joy, and I couldn't agree less. By the second half, I was trying to close my eyes all the time. I almost actually ended watching the game because of how boring it was. The only reason why it isn't last is because there were a couple of goals, I guess. 47. France nil, Netherlands nil. Oh god, by the time I was watching this, I was watching something else because of how boring this game was. Really, I had the volume turned down because I wanted to sleep at how boring this game was. Although there was an offside goal from Xavi Simons, which I guess kinda ups it 4 spaces, but still, this is a very uninteresting match. Number 46, France 1, Belgium nil. Here's where the overall quality gets slightly better from dreadful to bad. And that's because this match was bad and it would have gone to extra time had it not been for Jan Vertonghen's own goal, which could have easily been avoided. So, yeah, overall, it wasn't really that much of an interesting match, honestly, but there was something in it, I guess. Number 45, Belgium nil, Ukraine nil. A moment of silence for those who picked this match over Romania versus Slovakia. Okay, moment of silence is over. Yeah, I'm lucky that I picked Romania versus Slovakia instead of Belgium versus Ukraine. Belgium were obviously always going to park the bus, and Ukraine's attacking force wasn't really switched on this tournament. So, therefore, boring nil-nil draw. 44. Hungary 1, Scotland nil. Luckily enough, I had picked Switzerland versus Germany to watch on that day, but there were some who had to witness the collision between Varga and the Scottish player on that in that game. So of course, I do feel bad for Varga, but still, this is not a really good match. If it wasn't really for that, the quality of this game would be pretty bad. And Hungary did score in the 100th minute, but it wasn't even enough. So at the end of the day, this doesn't really stand up. 43. Scotland won, Switzerland won. A match where Switzerland should have been trying, and they were, but Scotland kept breaking them down defensively. And it was just repetitive the whole match, and that's why I put it in 43rd place on the ranking. 42. France won, Austria nil. The only thing in this game was an own goal. That should go to show you France's entire UEFA Euros. So, yeah, I wasn't able to watch this one, but I guess maybe that was a good thing. 41. England won, Denmark won. In what ended up being England's best match of the group stage, couldn't even make it outside the bottom 15. And maybe could be a little bit higher because that was the day that I graduated from elementary school, and I obviously had a lot of other things worrying about me. But I did watch that game, and I wanted it to be over. But it were two nice goals. Denmark's goal was great, but still, overall, not the best game in the Euros. 40. Portugal 2, Czechia 1. This match happened right after one of the better games in the tournament, Turkey versus Georgia. But yeah, I may be putting it a little bit too high because I was on edge the whole match because I am from Portugal's descent. Of course, I'm rooting for them to win the tournament, but they didn't. Of course, Portugal, they beat Czechia. Sure, it was very entertaining at the last half, but the first half was really nothing. And I remember ESPN, they put out a post on YouTube. They said, "What a game!" And people were roasting them in the comments. It was actually very hilarious. 39. Switzerland 3, Hungary 1. This match isn't really bad at all. It's just really, there was nothing really to it. It wasn't really an entertaining match, and that's why it ranks so low. 38. France nil, Portugal nil. I know the consensus of this game was that it was very, very boring, and they both didn't like it. But yeah, sure. I do agree to some extent, but me hoping that Portugal wins did not seem like an idiot for predicting them to win the tournament. I was kind of on edge the entire match, so I guess I remember it as more entertaining than it actually really was, but still, 30th place for me is a good placement. 37. Spain 1, Albania nil. A game where Spain were just resting their players and they still managed to win, which shows how dominant they were this tournament, and a match that Albania knew they had no chance of winning. But in the end, it did kind of get better than some of the other matches, but still, there's not anything really in there to improve Spain versus Albania um, up higher on the list. 36. Netherlands 2, Poland 1. A match which basically Poland had the lead for the majority of the game, which Netherlands then spoiled, and then brought on Wout Weghorst to win the game. But still, again, it's just that Poland scores, Netherlands come back. Really, there isn't much to add to the game. 35. Slovenia won, Serbia won. Slovenia took the lead and they thought they had won the match, but Luka Jovic came in to score what turned out to be Serbia's only goal at the Euros this year in their debut. So it's a nice concept of a match. Slovenia scores first, and then Serbia scores right at the end. But when it actually plays out, it looked, well, it wasn't bad, but it's in Group C, right? So the bad is the bar that you want to be at, right? Number 34. England won, Switzerland won. A nice little match here where Switzerland took the lead and they actually thought they won it. I thought they had won it, but they took the lead. But Bukayo Saka, he said not today, and he scored. And then it went all the way to penalties, and it's England's like what, third or fourth win on penalties? So it was actually a very nice match in the end. But the first half, just I wasn't even watching most of the first half because it was just that uninteresting. And even most of the second half wasn't really that good. But once Switzerland scored, it was entertaining from there. 33. Belgium 2, Romania nil. It's nothing more than what you'd expect from these two teams. Goals from Belgium. 32. Romania 3, Ukraine nil. We didn't have to venture much far away from Romania to go into 32nd, but this time they're actually the ones who come out on top. Yes, it's more goals. However, Romania only had like 29% possession. Ukraine dominated this match, and they had quite a bit of shots. It just Romania had 3 shots that went in, and that's how Romania went through in first, and Ukraine were eliminated in last. 31. Spain 1, Italy nil. That scoreline does not accurately reflect how dominant Spain was in this match. Italy barely even had the ball, let alone any chances. So, yeah, if it's just all Spain, why is this match really interesting, right? And it does suck for Spain that they had all those chances and their only goal was an own goal, but still. 30. Germany 2, Hungary nil. This was definitely a match where let me just whip out my phone, it's halftime. Lasted a little bit longer than just halftime. Germany were dominant in that first half, but the start of the second half was pretty dull, and mostly so was the second half. But that first half was pretty decent. When Hungary had a goal ruled offside, Germany scored, and all that stuff, it was pretty fun at least. But the start of the second half, man, that really brings it down. 29, Slovenia won, Denmark won. A match where, yeah, Denmark scored first, Slovenia scored. Like, sure. Because really, most of it wasn't really that entertaining. Again, it's Group C. This is probably the highest match of any Group C game, I think. So, well, yeah, I mean, good for them. Maybe this Euros was the most boring. 28. France won, Poland won. A match where the only goals were penalties. Yeah, I guess that goes to show you how, quote, good this match really was. So yeah, if you pick this one over Austria versus the Netherlands, yikes, tough luck. 27, Turkey 2, Czechia 1. This is where we take a massive, massive step in entertainment value here. Because Turkey scored practically a last minute goal to see them tied with Portugal at the top of the group, which really just eliminated Czechia from the tournament. Um, and there was some drama too, of course, and you gotta love drama. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the balls being kicked, it wasn't so favorable for Czechia or Turkey, really. 26. England 2, Slovakia 1. A match where Slovakia was actually expected to win. I hope I'm not the only one who thought that legitimately. And they scored early on, but then Jude Bellingham kind of ruined it for Slovakia with a beautiful bicycle kick, and then Harry Kane scored right after the gates for extra time, and England were sailing into the boring quarterfinals against Switzerland. But I do kind of feel bad for Slovakia, really. 25, Austria 3, Poland 1. I was honestly expecting this game to be more like 6-0 because of how good Austria is and how bad Poland is at the moment. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to Austria, who really put on a masterclass display. But there were some boring spots in the game, and that's kind of hard to look past. So for the moment, it's in the top half of games. We've made it to the top half. So good for Austria and Poland, but there were some boring spots which prevents it from being in the top 20. 24. Portugal nil, Slovenia nil. A game where it felt like any shot could have gone in, but Jan Oblak and Diego Costa were very, very good in net for both Slovenia and Portugal to keep it to penalties, where Portugal eventually won, but this was a great performance for Slovenia, I'm not gonna lie. 23. Turkey 2, Austria 1. This had the massive, massive downgrade of being right after Netherlands versus Romania. So obviously, I'm not going to remember this match as being more entertaining than the Netherlands versus Romania game was. Although there was some good goals, of course, from Mehdi Demiral, a center back who put Turkey through, and of course Austria's goal as well. But in the end of the day, it was a standard game between Turkey and Austria that you'd expect from two pretty decent teams in UEFA. 22. Germany 2, Denmark nil. It was a pretty posh handball, I would say. Of course, I don't really think that handball should have been counted, but I guess there's a microchip in the ball that could detect it. But still, that handball had nothing to do with affecting the ball. And yes, sure, this should be based off entertainment, but this really brings it down, really, because I disagree with that call so much. And of course, there was an earlier call for Germany that was a goal disallowed, which I agree with. But really, this game should have only been 1-0 Germany. But at the end of the day, it was a fine match, and of course, how can I not mention the weather delay? 21, Slovakia 1, Belgium nil. Slovakia got off to an early lead, and how many disallowed goals did Lukaku have? Like 3? That's actually hilarious. But at the end of the day, again, Slovakia and Belgium, it was an entertaining match, but I don't see how it goes in the top 20 personally. But it was a very, very hilarious match. 20. Georgia 2, Portugal nil. To kick off the top 20, I think it's honestly deserved, with a very entertaining first strike from Georgia to take the lead against Portugal, which I was not expecting. And then again, through a penalty? Yeah, I was very surprised with Georgia versus Portugal, and it was still an entertaining match with the ball on the field as well. So, big congrats to Georgia for their first and only ever win at the Euros. 19. Italy 2, Albania 1. This match is actually pretty much just entertaining for the first 20 minutes. I'm sure the second half wasn't great, but the first 20 minutes, like, think of the record that Albania just set. The earliest goal in the Euros. I think for me, that's good enough for it to be in the 19th spot. 18. Spain 3, Croatia nil. A match that many Croatians would like to forget, and I could understand why many Croatians don't want to remember this. It's because it's the only game that Spain won by more than 2 goals, except for the match against Georgia. But it was actually very entertaining first half, and the only reason why it isn't higher is because there were no goals in the second half. But it was a very entertaining match nonetheless. 17. Ukraine 2, Slovakia 1. A match which France opened up the scoring with such a great goal to put Slovakia in front at the half. But it was very even, and Slovakia were the better side, so they did kind of deserve that slight lead at halftime. But Ukraine came firing at it in the second half with 2 goals, and it really should have been more. Ukraine dominated that second half, and Slovakia were lucky that they only were down 1. But what a match! What a great match to kickstart that day. 16. Switzerland 2, Italy nil. What a match. What a match where Switzerland absolutely dominated. It was a very entertaining match, and as someone of Italian heritage, I am not mad that Switzerland won because they utterly deserved to, with how great their performance was and how entertaining this match was for Switzerland. Number 15. Portugal 3, Turkey nil. A match where Portugal were dominant throughout the entire match, and really they could have scored more. And of course, Ronaldo's selfishness it's brilliant. You gotta love it. Um, and yeah, I keep watching back that second goal, and it's almost like Felix knew that the ball would go in. Like it's almost like he released it. Why did he release it? No one really knows. That was kind of stupid. I would have passed the ball, but he just let go of it, and it ended up being a goal. All right, and I was very very surprised. But yeah, an entertaining match for sure. 14. Czechia 1, Georgia 1. The first half wasn't all too interesting, with just a penalty being awarded right at the end of it, but the second half was so incredibly entertaining, with Georgia missing right at the end and Czechia scoring the equalizer, that I just feel it has to be in 14th place. 13. Netherlands 3, Romania nil. A match where Malen scored 2 goals to cancel out his own goal in the previous match against Austria, which we still haven't talked about because it was just that good. But back to this game, where Netherlands ran rampant on Romania. With Romania still having a couple of shots, Netherlands deserved even a bigger lead. Of course, there was a disallowed goal, but the Netherlands were absolutely entertaining to watch, not just this whole tournament, but specifically again in this match against Romania. Number 12, Germany won, Switzerland won. Two of the most entertaining teams in the tournament came together to make one of the best games of the tournament. So we're already off to a great start. Germany had a disallowed goal, and of course Switzerland took the lead, which made me happy because I predicted them to. on UEFA Gaming, so I got more points off of that, and that made me very happy. And yeah, Switzerland were looking like they're going to win at halftime. They were top of the group, which means they would have gone on to play Denmark. Could you imagine Germany versus Italy in the round of 16? Germany would have smacked Italy. But no, of course, Germany had to score in the last minute and to ruin all Switzerland's fun. But this game was fun. This was an entertaining match, and it goes to show you who's in the top 10. 11. Croatia won, Italy won. Yeah, the first half was a little bit boring, but there were definitely a couple of shots to make the first half not that bad. And then Croatia missed a penalty. However, they scored right back in it. And the last 8 minutes of added time were insane, with Zaccagni sealing Italy's spot in the last 16 and Croatia's spot back at their home with all the beautiful beaches. And cracking the top 10 is the Netherlands 2, Turkey 1. With Turkey scoring the opening goal in the first half, and it staying like that at the halftime. But in the second half, Netherlands fired back, and Turkey even looked like they could get on the score sheet again and send it to extra time. I was even hoping they would do so because this match was so good. I wanted to watch more of it. That's how great the Netherlands and Turkey were this entire tournament, really, except for, Turkey wasn't so good against Portugal. But Netherlands performed very well here. Turkey performed very well. It was a very entertaining match. Number 9, Germany 5, Scotland 1. Yeah, it sucks to see that Scotland were on the wrong end of the biggest victory in this Euros. But at least it was entertaining, with Germany scoring 157 goals here. They even scored Scotland's for them. See, they're so generous. 8. Spain 2, England 1. Yeah, the final match of the tournament had a very insanely boring first half, which is unusual for Spain. However, the second half had so much drama, gets kicked up to 8th. If it was just the second half that we're talking about here, it might actually be first. But the first half just drags it down so much. It's actually so sorry how much it brings it down. 7. Slovakia won, Romania won. What a match. Truly. What an insane match. They could have easily match fixed this. Because a draw and that's it. They both go through. But the way they were playing made it seem like they both needed the win to go through. Romania were pressing hard and hard and hard try and get that third goal. So trying to get that second goal. Slovakia were doing the same thing. It looked like Romania was a little better on the field, but Slovakia and Romania, they were both pressing as if they needed to win that game to go through. And that's why it's so high up here. And I don't understand why people wouldn't at least put it in the top 20. 6. Spain 2, Germany 1. There is zero way in hell I'm not going to mention that handball, so here's a picture of it, obviously. And it was just a good match. I mean, Spain and Germany, it was really the real final. All right, I am one of those people who will say that Spain versus Germany was the real final. I even called it when, even before the group stages were over, that the winner between Spain and Germany would be the winner of the Euros, and I was right because Spain won and they won the Euros. So I'm just saying. And yeah, congratulations, Spain. That should have been awarded a handball, though. It was a very entertaining match, though. This one for sure, with two epic giants going after each other. 5. Albania 2, Croatia 2. Albania scored the early lead, and in the mid 70th minute, Croatia actually took the lead before Albania snagged it away right at the end. It's weird that Albania only got 1 point in the entire tournament, but it feels like they won every single match for how good their performances was. So was Croatia, at least in this match, at least, not really in the other ones. But they performed really well in this match, and it was a very entertaining watch for sure, especially when that game was at 9 o'clock in the morning here. Number 4, Turkey 3, Georgia 1. What a match! Absolutely stunning of a match. Turkey and Georgia had equalized, and then Turkey scored a beautiful, brilliant second goal to take the lead. And of course, they had to right at the end. Georgia, they had everyone up trying to equalize off a corner. And then, of course, Turkey, they ran the whole field and scored. What a match! This was such an entertaining match. It's hard to find three matches better than it in a normal tournament, but of course, in this one, there were three matches better. 3. England 2, Netherlands 1. What a match. Of course, Netherlands, they opened the match incredibly with a brilliant goal before England was given a penalty, which I personally don't think should have been given, considering Saka's handball and the foul is Kane touching Dumfries' boot. That's the foul. And of course, take off Kane, who scored the penalty and gave it away, of course. Well, Kane was fouled to get the penalty. He scored it. He substituted off for Ollie Watkins, who scores right at the end to send England to the Euro final. And Netherlands, they had to crash out. It's incredible. What a match that was for sure. 2. Spain 2. France 1. Getting the silver medal here is the team who actually won the gold medal in the end with their incredible performance against France. The first half was stunning. The only reason why it's not first is because of the second half, which the first place match has an incredible amount of entertainmentness, anything you want to call it, in both halves. Spain France was really entertaining in both halves, but mostly in the first half. And of course, Lamine Yamal, the youngest scorer at the UEFA Euros. How could we forget that? Wow, what an entertaining match here. Number 1, Austria 3, Netherlands 2. I cannot get over how good this match was. Such a stark contrast to France versus Poland. Austria got the scoring right off with the Netherlands' own goal. Netherlands made it 1-1. Austria came back with another own goal. Netherlands had again, although there was some VAR. And Austria again, 3-2. Absolutely. It was all over the field. What a match. Absolutely insane. You did not want to blink watching this game, and that is for certain. Austria 3, Netherlands 2, in my opinion, is undoubtedly the best match of Euro 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I know there's going to be people who disagree with me because it's my opinion, and my opinion is usually not the majority opinion. So what do you guys think about my ranking? Do you think Austria versus Netherlands is the best? Because I do. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.